Good evening, and welcome to another issue of Marvel Canon Madness. It's been oh, mind-blowing. Let me tell you. This episode, the Nexus Event of Loki, was crazy. But before I get into that, let's go ahead and introduce the rest of the hosts. So let's go to Chip.
Hey guys.
How's it going, sir?
Not too bad. Doing well. It was pretty nutso episode, so definitely ready to get into it again.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
It was insane.
Oh, I wonder if Josh feels the same. Speaking of which, Josh.
Hey, I absolutely feel the same. I'm so excited to talk about this. I'm so excited to be here and live on this awesome Wednesday for Marvel Canon Madness. Hello to everyone in the chat. Jesse, thank you for joining us. Everybody else, if you'd like to join in on the conversation, send us a message in the chat, or you can hit us up at 50893-TWIST and direct anything else to twistmyironpodcast@gmail.com. I think that's all we need to say at this point, right? I mean,
it's a lot of words. Yeah, so we've got a crazy episode ahead of us to discuss. Before we do that, Josh, did you have a synopsis for us?
I do, but I think you know that we need to do some corrections and or confirmations first.
Yeah, we do.
I mean,
lay it on me. Tell me what I need to apologize for, sir.
Okay, so last week, you and I argued about a punch being a fight, and we also argued about how many minutes of screen time there were fights. So I went back and I tallied up all the different times that there were actual fights, not just punches. And I didn't count the entire scene of them running down a hallway. I didn't count that as a fight scene. I counted actual fighting.
Okay. So, yes, in your summation, I believe I said there was like 12 minutes of fighting of a 36-minute episode. I was wrong.
Absolutely. There was about 2 minutes and 35 seconds. And that's being generous.
Okay. I was 100% wrong of the 125% of the time that I had said.
Hey,
so
it happens, it's
yes. And I do want to apologize for my rating of 7.5 of 7.5.
Whoa.
I do not believe that episode warranted that rating. After watching the episode without taking notes and being able to fully immerse myself and enjoy it, I would have given it a probably fair shake at about 8 to 8.5. I wouldn't have gone to 9 or even 10 on that. It still had some problems in my mind, but it was a better episode than I gave it credit for. So I apologize to any Marvel monsters out there that I offended with my rating.
I did have a correction for myself as well. So I went back and definitely rewatched the scene, and I must have misheard something. So I was totally misconstruing that conversation between Loki and Sylvie on the train. When I was like, well, I didn't get the implication that he was bi. I totally did upon a rewatch, and so I had just misinterpreted, and definitely want to clarify that I had no issue with that. I just hadn't originally gotten that implication, but upon a rewatch, I did. So my mistake there.
Okay, man, that was. Oh yeah. That's all I got.
All right. So
So
that being said, Josh, lay it on us. Lay this synopsis for the Nexus event on us.
okay, I wrote this synopsis by myself. I'm very proud of it. You guys ready? Here we go. Loki, episode 4, the Nexus event. This week, Loki and Sylvie face their demise before being abruptly saved by the TMA, my bad, by the TVA. Once back in captivity, Loki and Sylvie try their best to convince their respective captors that not all is as it seems in the Grand Time Variance Authority.
Good one. It's a good synopsis.
Pretty sound. Yeah.
I didn't want to give any spoilers away, but this is a very spoiler heavy
Oh my
podcast.
gosh.
So if you haven't seen the episode, make sure to go watch it, and by the time you're done, you'll still be able to come back and watch some of this podcast. So
yes,
just
And-
spoilers. So
even if we were trying not to spoil this, there's so much going on in this episode that I don't think I could contain the secrecy behind it. This is so full of spoilers. It's insane because I need to get it out. I need to talk about it. It's that this episode has me as excited as the last episode was for you guys. So
well, I think this episode has me even more excited now. It was just such a good, I don't know, man. It was a good ending to this arc. It feels like what are we on? This is episode 4,
episode
right?
4 of 6.
Okay, so episode 1 was the introduction,
Mhm.
and then 2, 3, and 4 was like the first arc, and now we're gonna get 5 and 6, and to close it out. And man, this could have been a season finale. I feel like.
It definitely could have.
It had that feel, didn't it? Yeah. That's kind of what I thought. Like, I was like, man, if you take the first 4 episodes and just like get rid of all the credit sequences, like the feel and the pacing is really just like a big movie. Like, they really paced it out well. This last episode, like, was a fantastic conclusion, but it's not even
Yes.
over.
Right.
You know, and a lot of these shows that they're doing on Disney Plus, I really wish that they would do a abridged, I think is the term for it, where they cut out all the
Credits.
all of the credits and everything and just mash it and meld it into one long format, and it'd be a movie for each of them easily.
Yeah.
So
Be like that old school way of doing TV movie stuff, like It. The original It was like a 6-episode series that then they mashed together into one, like 5 hours or whatever it was. Like,
I definitely think keep it on the week by week basis until it's over, and then once it's over, release that long version. You know,
I would buy that. I would totally buy that Blu-ray
Yeah.
of the entire WandaVision series, just without the credits or anything like that. Same with Falcon Winter Soldier. I bet that show would be a lot. I bet they would be a lot funner that way. You know, because then you can just sit there like one lazy Saturday. You're like, I'm not gonna do shit. I'm just gonna watch WandaVision for 5 hours, and you just, you know.
Yeah. But with that being said, let's take a delve into this origin story as we start off with Sylvie in Asgard as a small girl. So Chip, run the scene for us a little bit. What were your thoughts going on when they first started delving more into her backstory?
So we had some standard blocking from the small child, playing with her toys. So the blocking was pretty basic. She was moving her hands in front of her face. No, it was a pretty cool intro shot, like the sweeping look at Asgard. They might have given that view to us before, but like that view looking out over the Rainbow Bridge from behind the palace, was a pretty cool view. I liked that. It looked really cool. I don't know, just like it's a pretty young girl to have broken her timeline already. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a pretty cool
Well,
scene.
To
I thought it
to
was
s-
interesting. No, go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say I thought it was interesting that it was Ravana. That was my first clue that she like knew more about the overarching scheme. Because like, how do you mess up that badly and still get promoted?
Mm.
So I was like, it's interesting. So I thought it was a cool little intro scene. Josh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they took that sweeping shot from a different movie. You know, like a Thor 2. They're like, let's take one of the deleted scenes from Thor 2 and
Ooh.
put it in this. Um,
possible.
but I didn't. I was gonna say not to skip ahead too far either, but I think wasn't she just a variant just by being born as a female version of Loki? Didn't that?
I
Is that
see,
what they
and
said?
the way they describe that is the answer you would think would be yes because of their sacred timeline. But why would they let that branch go for what? She's probably 10, 12, 10, 11, 12 at that point.
Yeah.
Why would they let it go that long? Because obviously there's something wrong with their theories on Nexus events.
Hmm.
I mean, this is a totally random thought that I just had, but like maybe it's because like they're looking at that bar, and like her little branch, just from being female, her little branch was like a tiny little bump that nobody really notices. But then like she's hitting that age for like puberty, and at that point, the split between like a male and a female is gonna start being more like dramatic of a
True.
difference. Maybe that's part of it. Is like then the branch starts being more like noticeable because like it's shifting further away. I don't know. Like, but at that point, it feels like why would they ever let any version of Loki that isn't the Tom Hiddleston prototype like make it past any point? Like, so yeah, it is odd. I don't know, but I feel like that's not it because like it's very simple and easy. I don't know. It's a very simple and easy like answer to give. So I feel like by not remembering what her Nexus event was would indicate that it's not just her birth. So
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just thought it was kind of weird. I thought that they had said something like that in this episode, but
True.
She did.
I don't know.
She
So-
did. She was, but I feel like she was being self-deprecating. Like she was being all defeatist,
Mm.
sitting on a rock about to die.
Okay.
Whereas, like,
Yeah.
So here's an interesting thought. Did you guys notice the toys she was playing with?
A dragon, and wasn't it a Valkyrie?
It was a Valkyrie and a large wolf.
Oh,
And
okay.
she I believe she was talking about the Rainbow Bridge or whatever. And it made me think maybe she was telling the story of Thor Ragnarok, to her toys.
Like a legend, some sort of legend.
To me, it seemed like a little bit of a throwback. Like maybe they wanted to keep you in that frame of mind. So,
yeah. Didn't you say as well, just an Easter egg there? You had said that the girl that played young Sylvie was also the girl that played young Rey in the
yes,
Star Wars movies.
that is true.
That's a pretty
Really?
fun fact.
Yep.
Ha
man, how much money do you need, yo?
Enough to get you through college, which is what she should use that money for.
I mean, the residuals
You
alone.
know, every other child celebrity out there, we know, eventually goes through that phase of cocaine and hookers.
Well,
Do not do that.
Not
Go to college.
everyone. Like
A majority.
Everyone. A lot. Not throwing shade, just
No,
they're
definitely
just getting
not.
people warmed up for Sebastian Stan for Bucky to go be Luke Skywalker. So that's all.
I would pay for that. I'd go see that.
So with that, we skip a little bit ahead, and it's Mobius and Ravonna talking, right? And they're talking about C20 and what happened to her. Josh, when they're talking about C20 and Ravonna reveals that she is dead, that she basically succumbed to the enchantments. What were you thinking at that moment? Were you entirely trusting, or were you like, nah, she got her ass pruned?
I think she's still around. Actually, I don't think she got pruned yet. I think they kept her around, because later on in the episode, Mobius. I keep wanting to call him Morbius. But Mobius
Right
lies to
universe.
Loki about killing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like in their nature to kill someone to get something out of the person they're interrogating. I do kind of feel like the more we've watched this, the more Ravonna, I feel like she's one of the main villains somehow.
Which is interesting because she's a love interest of Kang in the comics.
That is true.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, so if she's always talking about they're always talking about the other agent and stuff, and like even this one, Owen Wilson is like, "See, I am your favorite agent," or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, trying to do that.
I do like that we got to see the previous judge before Ravonna,
Right.
and that we also learned that Ravonna's original assignment number was A23. I don't know if that has any links to the comics, but I noticed her uniform said A23. So
I wonder if they'll connect the letters to different like multiverses, different universes. You know what I mean? Like to make it easier for us, movie watchers and stuff instead of comic readers, to be like, this is from universe A and B and C and D.
Mm-hmm. Or timeline A, timeline B.
Exactly. And so then it'd just be easier for them to say, well, this Spider-Man's from B and this Spider-Man's from C, and they're different areas, and I feel like that's kind of where they're headed, especially because in the last episode you find out that all the agents of the TVA have been kidnapped from their own timelines and their own lives and stuff. So it's like,
so Chip, before we even get later into the episode, the discussion between Ravonna and Mobius, do you get the feeling when she admits that C20's dead, her condition declined, all this, and Mobius asked her about it, do you get that put the seeds in his head of doubt right there before he even had a chance to discuss with Loki?
I think I'm not sure if he doubted her word at this point. I feel like he trusted her pretty implicitly. I feel like the fact that I feel like he thought it was weird, and thought it was he thought it was really odd, and he questioned the rapid decline of her, oh, she was fine. But I don't think he was really doubting Ravonna necessarily. I think it was just more that shocked, what? No.
Okay.
But I think the fact that was such a weird occurrence, then when Loki tells him that they're lying, I feel like that helped give that more weight and makes him like question that more.
All right. So right after that, we go right back to Lamentus, and we see the gorgeous scenery of the moon falling. We see that their original city is burning, and we go right into the conversation between the Lokis, and you get a little bit of, how would you say, kind of like not a tension between them, but more of a tethering, like they're becoming closer. Josh, what did you take away from this end of the world revelation to each other that they had?
Well, Chip sent a pretty dirty meme to our network chat recently
It was pretty on
about
point.
about Loki and Sylvie like having more than just a friendship going on. It was a pretty nasty meme. Hilarious, but also disgusting. And I mean, I feel like it just kind of got to that point where Loki was kind of falling for Sylvie, and as soon as you start seeing the like, I called it the Nexus boner
That's awesome. Oh man.
because it's
You heard it here
straight
first.
up.
That's the episode title, guys. The Nexus boner. It's great.
But you know, I feel like that's him falling for her is what created that Nexus event that made them know where they were.
For sure.
So love saved the day or some cheesy shit.
So the Rapid Ascent Nexus Event. Wow. Try saying that.
You mean the
4
Nexus
times
boner?
fast. The Nexus boner. That is caused by self-love, technically, then?
That's the confusing part about this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because
is he that narcissistic that he's like, I could love myself? Yeah, I know exactly like what this is about.
Yeah. And it's not,
I think yes.
it's weird because it's not a revelation of self-love as in him loving himself, you know, but loving someone else that is himself.
That's what I'm saying.
It just melts
It's
your
like-
mind before you
it's
even
like,
get to the good point.
It's all
Do you
about
ever-
perspective. Like they're completely different people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and do you ever see those couples that look exactly the same?
like
You know, you're at the grocery
siblings.
store. Yeah, you like look in the grocery store, and you're like, wow, you guys look so similar. And I bet, like, I don't even bet. I know most of those couples are just like they're the exact same people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, right? Like just finding.
So is this Marvel's Luke and Leia moment?
I mean,
But is it Luke and Leia? Because they're
it's still just as bad, if I would think, wouldn't it be?
no,
Or
I
is
don't think they're
just
siblings.
Okay. So this is basically just another form of masturbation.
I don't even think it's that really. Like they're
No.
entirely different people.
But are they?
It's just
Yeah.
he sees himself in her and she sees herself in him, and they're like, oh,
They're like
oh yeah,
they are
I love
genetically they are super genetically different. Like they do not have the same genes.
Well, no, one has a different chromosome.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. They're like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. They're a lot.
And Jesse's question saying that maybe she's from the future would make it even weirder, because if she's from the future, then that just means it's a descendant of Loki. And now he's falling in love with a descendant of himself.
That's true.
There's a lot of things with time that we shouldn't dive into.
That we're Marty McFly in it. So all right. So then after this moment of realization, the doors pop open and you see no one come through, just the doors. Next it clicks to them being in shackles and walking down the corridors. My question is, why didn't they just let the cataclysm end them both right there?
They have to have needed them for something. Like, so here's the thing. Oh man, and we're about to just kill the whole like credits thing because the after credit scene shows that whoever is like kidnapping and finding all these different Lokis needs him for something, and he's keeping them around
Yeah.
for some reason. And so there's
They
no way that the TVA wanted to let them die. They wanted to
can't
bring them
let
in.
die. Good point. So then we, like I said, we go to them in the hallway, and it's almost like a walk of shame. They keep them separate, but they both have that look of like, I got caught. No.
Keep struggling like they're gonna get out. Come on,
Yes.
guys.
And they take them to their own separate chambers, as you would do if you're interrogating someone.
Especially two people that just created a Nexus boner. You got to really keep those two separate.
And we get a little snarky back and forth between Mobius and Loki, in which he tells Loki that the TVA is lying to him.
Well, I feel like Mobius drops one of the best lines in the episode here. He's like, "No, you're just an asshole and a pretty bad friend."
Yeah. Yeah, chew on that for a minute.
And you see that,
like he was taken aback by it. Loki was like, touche. Like, all right, you got me there.
I think it's funny that Mobius at this moment admitted that he actually considered Loki a friend. That's actually kind of big. That, hey, I trusted you. I had the trust from you being my friend. That was kind of a large revelation for me when he said that. So yes. But then he responds with, the TVA is lying to you.
And of course he doesn't believe him. Of course he's like, okay, whatever. Go get in your little time cell. And he locks him in the time cell with Lady Civ.
Yeah, Lady Sif.
And she just keeps coming in and calls him worthless, and because apparently Loki had cut her hair at some point, and so they trap him in this memory where she just punches him in the face and kicks him in the balls over and over and over.
And see, that changes with each section too. That's not the same. The one continual during that entire cell is, you deserve to be alone and always will be. And that plays into later in the episode as well. Yeah. But Chip, during the Lady Sif scene, there was a lot of emotion there. What were you all picking up during that?
The big, it's another one of those, emotional growth moments. Like, this Loki had, he even said, he had never thought about that moment again. Like, he was a dick back in the day, and, he had pulled a prank, got punched for it.
Yeah, what did he say?
Didn't think about it again later. But, this
I went and
Loki
drank wine and took a bath.
Yeah. But this Loki is, had all that character development smashed in his face. Saw his mom die, saw his brother mourn him, saw himself die. So this one's actually oh, you know what? That actually affects me some sort of way. So he actually, and then he had, then he admits that that's his biggest fear is being alone. But he is alone, and he's always going to be alone.
Yeah. What is this water from my eye? Oh my gosh, what are these are feelings?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get that sense a lot during these episodes that it almost feels like he's feeling these emotions for the first time as a character, which is kind of terrifying if you think about it, because his entire childhood growing up, did he not feel any of these things? He had to have lost friends in battle, because he used to go alongside Thor and Lady Sif and the Companions 3, I believe. I can't think of their name.
Yeah, it's the Companions 3.
But
the Warriors 3, sorry.
Warriors 3, yes. So where was all this, did he just hide this away in himself, you think? Did he emotionally detach himself from these feelings, and now that he has no one to rely on, he has to face that realization?
I feel like everyone in this episode is having feelings for the first time. And in a way, I feel like everyone is having their own personal Nexus event in this episode.
Ooh.
This being one of them for Loki, realizing how much of an asshole he always has been. It starts with Mobius telling him he's an asshole, and then Lady Sif kicking him in the balls enough to like really make him understand that he's an asshole. And then, you see Sylvie's Nexus event, where she cares about Loki. Like later on the episode, she like realizes that she actually cares about someone. Mobius has his Nexus event, realizing that he might have actually been on a jet ski. Like everyone has a Nexus event, even down to CT or what, a B15 or B20, whatever, B52. Like she has a Nexus event as well, with Sylvie giving her own memories back. Like everyone in this episode had one of those, and I feel like this was Loki's moment of that Nexus event, like that personal Nexus event.
And Jesse in chat, I do not believe that Lady Sif is part of the Warriors 3.
Gimli.
Gimli, Carrie Elves? I can't say that name. And Sif.
Is he? I don't even have the chat open. I'm gonna guess he's saying Carrie Elwes, which would be that's from Princess Bride. You cur. You cur.
Gimli. He said Gimli too. So
yes, but I believe Lady Sif is not part of the Warriors 3. I believe that was Fandral, Hogan, and
there's a B.
Is it B? Is it V Baldur. Or B? No, I think it's like Volstagg. Voltrag?
Volstagg the Voluminous. He's the big fat one.
Okay.
Volstagg, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Hogan the Hardy. Volstagg the Voluminous. That one's the best one because he's all big and fat.
Do you guys want to know who it is? I got it pulled up right now. Volstagg, yes. Fandral, and Hogan.
Oh, I was right.
Nice. Yep.
That they're not all that common in the comics. I mean, they're there, but they're not like right up in your face characters. So on my notes, I got like the next little bit is the interrogation tactics. After Mobius gets done putting Loki in his cell, he goes to talk to Ravonna, and he tells Ravonna, I want to talk to the other variant, and she says no, that nobody talks to her. She cock blocks him, and this is also the first time he's in the hallway and he's talking to B-15 too. And you can tell that something's wrong with B-15. She has kind of a look of doubt on her face. Yes, Josh.
I think she overheard the conversation. I think she overheard what they were talking about in there.
Okay.
And wasn't it? Oh man, wasn't it she was outside of the interrogation room with Loki and Mobius. And I'm pretty sure she overheard Loki screaming at Mobius about everything being fake. And so that's what prompted her to
Yes.
go see Sylvie and be like, all right, let's go do this. Because she, like, this whole part was Mobius starting to become suspicious and taking Ravona's little pad.
No,
and
we're not at that point yet.
Are you sure?
I am positive. I have the episode broken down right here. This is the part where B-15 is starting to show doubts, and Mobius comforts her by saying these Lokis are the worst, and we've dealt with Kree, Titans, and vampires. Which
okay.
Before he
Morbius,
goes,
there's your
yep. And
little
our
call
Blade
out
lead in.
And Blade, yeah, there you go.
But that also means that at some point they had Thanos in here, or Ronan the Accuser, Kree and Titan. But
yeah, maybe
that did lead after that led to the scene that you were talking about, where
he takes
where Loki and him have that long talk.
Yep.
And they start getting heated and they have their heart to heart. And Mobius starts off by asking him, do you want to do this the easy way or do you want to be the cockroach? And Loki makes a weird assumption and cockroach. Then we go into the whole argument. Do you think that Mobius's points were valid? That he was poking and prodding Loki with?
Well, I think at this point, Mobius, does he even know why he's having to do all this now? Does he even know why he's interrogating him? Especially since Loki already planted that seed of doubt. I feel like, and you know, Ravonna also having those weird conversations with him. Now he's just trying to get any sort of clarification for why he's chasing after these Lokis. But you know, this Loki just basically tells him, "Oh, it was all this my plan," and he's trying to throw him off from whatever scent he's just trying to throw him off. So I don't know, that I just feel like at this point Mobius is starting to doubt everything.
Chip, so this little heart to heart that they have, he throws some pretty wild accusations out there about what was it? What did he say? Twisted romantic relationship, as he starts making fun of Loki for this. And it almost feels like he's getting some frustration off of his chest that maybe he took the little backstabbing more personal than we thought.
I think so. Like, I think he had genuinely like started to trust this Loki, and he was maybe not surprised, but like super disappointed that he like jumped through that time door and dipped out on him. But I don't know. I thought the way that he like just casually threw out there, like, "Oh, no worries, the other variant's been clipped already," and then just kind of gauged Loki's reaction. I mean,
he caught him right there, though. He caught him.
Yeah. He had
He
him
was
there.
like, let's see how you really feel about this one, and
They're trying
he
to
totally got him.
Yeah.
had him dead to rights pretty much. They're trying to figure out like what caused the big old Nexus boner, but I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like who cares if you prune both of them, then like a Nexus boner is not going to happen again. So who cares what caused it? So I don't know. I guess like I don't know why they care, but once he figures out like, ooh, you want to bang yourself? Gross.
I'm generally starting to think that Loki may have the worst poker face in the MCU. By the way, it's like every time Mobius points something out, he instantly gives it away with his expressions, like, "Oh yeah, I totally meant to do that," or "Good, great, she needed pruning,"
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, he's pretty bad at that for
Yeah,
sure.
it was like a whole 45 seconds of reaction, and then he's like, good riddance. Thanks.
Yes.
Then
Very sad. Anyway, moving on.
we then led into Loki's revelation to Mobius about you're all variants, every one of you. You were kidnapped from your timelines, and you're being lied to. And what did Mobius say at that point? It was like,
You almost had me, I think.
you almost had me. And it's kind of like a throwback to that first episode.
Yeah. But man,
No,
the way
he
that
says you almost had me the first time he says TVA is lying to you. And he's like, you almost had me. Throw it. And that's when they throw him in the first time.
Okay.
I wonder if this one, because this one's a little bit more of a. I loved the cinematography of this moment when the camera like slowly pans around Owen Wilson's face. It really gives you that feel of he's really thinking about what Loki just said.
Yeah, he's
And
running
like,
it through his head.
He's like, whoa, wait a minute, hang on. That like I bet the jet ski popped into his head right there. Where he's like, maybe this is why I love jet skis so much. I think he said, like good one or something like that.
If we don't get to see
Good one.
Mobius on a jet ski by the end of this series, I riot. Yeah.
Yeah.
We then get the Terminator scene where B-15 storms into the interrogation room with Sylvie and basically tells her, "Come with me if you want to leave, not live."
Yeah.
And they take a trip to the Rocks cart. At the same time, we get the case closed with Mobius and Ravonna, the signing of the doctorates. I feel like this scene these two scenes were kind of a little bit jumbled because they kind of flopped back and forth between them during this whole exchange. So let's go with, who did I go with the last time? I went Chip first. So Josh, in the Rocks cart scene, we get the big throwback. We get the revelation of Sylvie's powers and the emotion from B-15. The revelations that she's having, what are you thinking while that's all going on?
Well, I'm just starting to think that everything's unraveling because people are now starting to question the TVA. If B-15 is, she's one of the top leaders, if she's starting to question things, then, and Mobius is starting to question things, you can tell that Ravonna's getting frustrated with everyone asking all these questions. Like, it seems like everything started to unravel. And as soon as, God, I loved this scene with her where she's like, yeah, how did you put those in my head? Those aren't my real memories. I was made by the TVA. And she's like, no, I can't create memories. I can just pull things that you've already been through. And like, when B-15 came back. It was such a good moment of realization where she's like, I looked happy, and like,
Yeah.
boom, and then she like instantly was like, what do you need?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, that was that. If you want to go Terminator style, it was that they should have put the dun 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 music right in there when she says that. I mean, I was excited to see what the plan was, which by the time things went down, I completely forgot about this scene. It was so powerful in the moment, but then you just forget all about it.
Yeah.
Now, Chip, I don't think that she turned she turned kind of quick. Like she was really fast to change sides there. I guess, do you feel like they should have expanded on that at all, or do you feel like this was the correct way of telling that story?
I think it makes sense. Like she's a woman of action. She's not like a quiet, timid like person. She's like already like a Minuteman. She's a fighter. We've seen her this whole series be kind of like aggressive and take charge. And now she just found out that like these dudes have been lying to her this whole time. And so like boom, get them. Like I feel like it makes sense. She's literally talking to the person that's already the biggest threat to the TVA. So you're already talking to like the one person you would want to ally yourself with if you're going to decide to go against the TVA. So I feel like it makes sense. Just what now? What do we do? So I thought that was a pretty good scene. Like she already had an inkling. She was like struggling with like the random thoughts in her head from when she got enchanted in the rocks cart the first time. And so like when Sylvie did it the second time and like gave her her full memories, like I feel like she was already like leaning towards like this is messed up. Something about this isn't right. And then she got kicked over the edge and was just like, all right, dude, take him out.
So would you say that the mind control that the TVA had on the Minutemen when they became enchanted might have, it didn't completely break it, it softened it, and maybe they started to have that the feelings from their previous life? Because right here you see that previously in the episodes, all the Minutemen seem to have more of a stormtrooper-esque feel to them emotion-wise. They're just kind of blank. I'm here to do a job. I'm here to do this. But once they're touched by that enchantment, that maybe it's not just giving them their memories back. Maybe it's giving them their feelings back as well. Does that sound right to you too?
Potentially. I don't know.
I think they have feelings still. It's just now they're being a little more unlocked or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, just from a little bit later, it seems like maybe the control that the TVA has locks some of that down as well. But so Renova and Mobius drinking in the office, talking about old times and war trophies.
Yeah.
I thought that was me for a second.
Was that my AC kicking in?
I think it was.
It could be, yeah.
I had fireworks going off outside too, so yeah, we'll cut that part out.
We'll just get rid of that in post.
Yep. So with that, Renova starts to show that she is is a zealot for the cause. There's no sway. Whoever she is working for has an iron grip on her. Mobius goes in and starts to play detective. The question he's asking are the hard-hitting ones, and he's even getting down to a little mischief himself. What were your takeaways from this conversation, Josh?
Again, it's starting to unravel. People are starting to realize what's going on. Ravona's acting suspicious, and Mobius is starting to question things. So I just at this point I'm like, sweet, the shit is about to hit the fan. This is awesome. And
Yeah, when she said that,
boy,
when she said that the timekeepers wanted to oversee the pruning of the variants personally, and they wanted Mobius there. I was just thinking in my head, like, "Ooh, Mobius, they gonna prune you too, buddy." Like, ooh, that did not bode well for him there.
See, and when this was going on, another thing that struck me was if you could go anywhere at any time, where would you go? I felt like I feel like that's a question,
a loaded question.
a loaded question to feel out whether they've been compromised. Because we now know with C20 that she was compromised. She had her memories. Now B15 has her memory. Sorry, and then Mobius, maybe she's having that doubt about. Well, I shouldn't say maybe is having those doubts again about Mobius as well now. Josh, you're right. It's starting to slowly unravel, and we see the tempad get swapped when Mobius pulls a suave maneuver of, where are you going to put that trophy?
Yeah.
So
yeah, man, and then it just spirals out of control from here. Mobius goes and checks the time pad and figures out what actually happened, and then he goes and gets Loki and pulls him out of his little time loop, and like this, man, everything just gets crazy, including our boy getting pruned, man.
Yes.
This goes all the way. This just and I feel like you knew this was gonna happen as soon as he switched time pads. It was like, oh man, he's not gonna be able to get away with that without getting punished.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to see the time, and he's stealing these pads. Like, of course he's gonna get screwed over here. I didn't expect it to be so abrupt, but yeah, it was. I don't know. It was a really bittersweet moment because he figures it out. He goes and gets Loki. They decide they're friends again, and then boom.
Did we just become best friends? Yup.
Yeah. You mean I have to take the word of two Lokis? What about a friend? I can do that. Man, I literally, like, when they jabbed him with that bad boy, I WTF'd out loud. What the fuck? I was so like, oh, they got me with that one.
Also, what a Lord of the Rings moment. Can't believe I'd be
I was expecting them to
fighting side by side.
I did like that we got a little bit of justice from Mobius's previous comments about how Loki is just a stepping stone for other people to become better selves. With Mobius telling Loki, you can be good if you want to too. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
You can be anyone you want, even a good person. Just in case somebody told you differently, because like he had literally told him differently. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that plays into Jesse's question here. What if Sylvie was arrested because she was on the path to becoming a hero? That's a really good question, and also makes a lot of sense if Loki is there to make them better, because Loki is definitely there to make Sylvie better. In retrospect.
And that goes into something we were talking about earlier, Josh, and we're going to get to that. But now is a time to misbehave, if you will, where the timekeepers, we finally get to meet them. Ooh. And we find out that they are as lizard-faced as Loki called them. They are real, as we get to see them up on their chairs. And did you notice the little bit of background? It's like the infinite staircase. Did you notice
Yeah.
that?
Looks like MC Escher.
Mm.
Yeah.
An Escher painting.
But during the elevator, Sylvie asks Renova some pretty pointed questions, and we get some very bad guy-like behavior from Renova.
Yes. Yep.
Do you remember me? What was my Nexus event?
Does it matter?
Yeah. Does it matter? The evil smirk. At this point, like I was already thinking, oh, well, maybe Renova's just being, she's a zealot. She's following lead. But now I'm starting to think that she isn't just following lead. She is actually a part of it. It's not just a belief. She wants it to happen.
She's dating the man behind the curtain.
Well, and
God, Jesse's all about these bets.
It's possible. I mean, it could just be that she's like bitter. Like, if I had been chasing this bitch for that long, I wouldn't give her any answers either.
But time flows differently. She could have only been gone for like maybe a couple days.
I mean, she's killed an untold number of Minutemen. So, like, I feel like as a time cop, if she's been off murking your fellow time cops, like you should probably have some bitterness towards her. And I feel like in that position, I wouldn't give her any answers either. Let her die wondering.
Yeah.
You don't know her anything. You go, Ravana.
So we get a pretty quick fight scene here. It wasn't too long.
Yeah, well, this is the plan. This is where the plan comes in action with B-52. B-15.
B-52 bomber. Let's go.
Or the Love Shack B-52.
She comes in with a 10 sword.
Yes. But this is where the plan comes into action, and she like comes up the elevator and throws Sylvie a badass sword. Yeah. And
unlocks the collars.
It's a cool fight scene for sure. It's a good ex machina.
It's a good lead into who's behind the curtain, as we get the decapitation of one of the Time Lords.
The Snokiest of Snoke scenes.
Exactly.
Of Marvel.
One of the things I thought when I saw this is Loki and Sylvie fighting back to back was very reminiscent of Kylo Ren and Rey fighting back to back, and then Snoke's death. It took me back a second. I'll tell you what.
It was actually watching God, and there's a lot of Star Wars things coming out, like a lot of news coming out recently, and so my brain's been racking again, and I'm excited for more Star Wars. But watching this scene with Sylvie fighting Ravonna, like I was like, man, she would make a great Mara Jade. If they were to bring her in, have her be Mara Jade, Sebastian Stan be young Luke, dude, what a cast! What a cast right there.
So Loki goes to profess his love, I think, or
I think he was going to kiss her.
I think he was too. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was going to kiss her, and then he was going to go look at pictures of daggers.
But hold up though, because we really, really glazed over the whole timekeeper getting beheaded and it being a fucking robot.
Yeah, the goddamn android. And did you know? Like, I loved it when she chops its head off. The other ones start laughing. I feel like they were
Laughing-
just like trolling us. They were laughing at
Yeah.
us, not them.
Yes. Yes.
They're just like,
But you know, the second watch of that, you kind of notice when they first start talking that like when they move their hands, it sounds mechanical. No
I-
joke.
I did not catch
Watch
that.
it again and turn it up, like listen to it in headphones, and when they're moving on the close-ups, it kind of sounds like they're mechanical. But then yeah, like she cuts the head off and it's like Chuck E. Cheese animatronics that went wrong that start laughing at you. Like
And then
super
slowly power
creepy.
down.
And then and then obviously the man behind the curtain powers it down and takes off in his ship. Nah, 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 nah. I'll see you again, Loki.
it's
I
Jim
mean-
Carrey with a huge mustache.
See,
Just a
and
big Sonic crossover.
I did not. Okay, they were pretty comic accurate on how they looked, like compared to what the comic said. But at the same time, I was like, wow, this is like really bad. Just looking at, I did not like how they looked.
The timekeepers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
They
And,
looked
I mean-
just like their cartoon.
yeah.
pretty
That's what
much.
I'm saying. It's just,
Yeah.
I did like how they kind of talked.
yeah.
I liked that they each had their own unique personality. The one dude, he enunciated every part of the word like
Yeah.
this.
And the other one just whispered all creepily and Voldemort-like.
And then
It's
you
very-
know, classic Disney. Got to give us the calamari.
You guys think you're gonna get away with this?
Just shoving Cheetos in his mouth.
I'm a timekeeper.
So
Reverse polarity syndrome.
after this, since now we haven't glazed over it, we go to the little about to be makeout session that is
Yes.
interrupted by Renova with a time stick to the back, a pruning shear, if you will.
Did anybody else see this coming immediately?
No,
As soon as Loki stood up and started to as soon as he started talking to Sylvie, I was like, oh my god, where's Ravonna? She was just on the ground, like right next to them. Is he
Getting-
stepping on her? Like, because I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure that this scene, and I swear to God, the way that they were like shooting it, you could tell that something was gonna happen and it wasn't gonna be pretty. Like immediately, I was like, okay, Loki's gonna get knocked out or killed or something, and lo and behold, he's fucking pruned.
You know, I thought the other one was gonna catch the pruning stick, so
Mhm.
I was shocked.
yes, this
Oh,
caught me off
okay,
guard.
I see.
Now, Josh, this
again,
is
To make
ahead.
Sylvie better, this is Loki's destiny to make Sylvie more of a hero.
mhm.
I
And Josh,
guess.
this is exactly what I was telling you earlier. Is I had like a momentary flash, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Loki stabbed Phil Coulson in the back to make the Avengers, and now Ravonna is stabbing Loki in the back. Loki is Coulson. Coulson is Loki. Boom! You know, we now have Lady Loki, about to assemble some big.
Pull some Dark Avenger
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yes,
Although,
And-
is she?
she isn't.
Oh.
I'm
gonna
not
learn
quite
some
sure. She's
Yeah.
definitely gonna wreck Renova's day.
I think she's gonna learn more and realize that Ravonna is just kind of a pawn,
Yeah,
and she's gonna do something else. Like I don't know. I feel like and if we move straight into it. The after credit scene.
Mid credits. Is it?
Okay,
It's more mid
mid-credits.
credits technically.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
Well,
Yeah,
you gotta,
well, I guess you're right. Mid credits because they had to have the special guest star named
Mhm.
right after that. Otherwise, it wouldn't have made sense. But yeah, I mean, Sylvie just pulls Ravonna away, and you go to credits, and then right after the credits, Loki wakes up. He asks, "Is this hell?" And then what? I don't want to spoil this. I feel like you guys enjoyed this way more than I did.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank.
Oh my god, it was the biggest payoff of the year, bro. Kid
Oh, I know it.
Loki.
I know it was. I'm just trying to remember what the guy said to him. What old Loki said to him, because it was "Welcome to the variant verse" is what it was.
He's
And
like, is this hell? Am I dead? He's like, no, but if you don't come with us, you will be.
that's Richard E. Grant, I believe, is the
Yes.
one that played old Loki.
I also
And-
believe that's the same guy that plays. Is it the same guy that? Hang on, I'm looking it up right now. I think he's in the Mandalorian. Maybe he's not. Maybe I'm getting him confused with somebody else.
We also got what would
No,
we
no,
call
he's
him?
I'm
Loki
sorry,
Thor,
He's General
Thorky.
Pride in Rise of Skywalker.
Thorky,
My bad.
or
Low Thor.
Low Thor.
I thought
And
they.
then
Thorky.
I think
Kid
he's
Loki.
referred to as Brute Thor or something like that.
Brute Loki,
Or yeah, Brute Loki.
boastful Loki. I don't know.
Boastful Loki. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, Kid Loki, boastful Loki, and old Loki standing
Gator
above
Loki.
him, and then Gator Loki, which might be a reference to Frog Loki or Frog Thor.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
So
It might be. Yeah. It might even be a reference to Egyptian mythology. Like he could be a variant that's like based on Egyptian mythology.
Yeah. And Jesse, to answer your question, I think Thor could have been a villain in Sylvie's timeline. I think that makes perfect sense.
mhm.
Maybe Thor was the trickster.
um,
Or that wouldn't make sense.
well,
But he
I
could have been
think
a villain.
I think we've done a pretty good job of covering the majority of the episode. I think
yeah?
that's a good time to lead into Casey's cart.
Okay. Casey's cart. This is the part of the show where we talk about our favorite lines and shots. I do have a bumper for shots of the show, so let's do lines first.
Okay.
And then I'm just stealing Sudden But Inevitable's bumper because it's great and it works and it's got good music. And if you haven't watched Sudden But Inevitable Rebop, where we rewatch Cowboy Bebop, join us on Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time.
Okay.
Got to do plugs, man. Look at that. That was a perfect mid-episode fucking mid-roll plug.
Gorgeous.
All right, Josh, since you're feeling very talkative and you're on a roll, let's go with your quote first.
Okay. My quote was from Mobius, and it was what Chip had said earlier. It's you could be whoever, whatever you want to be, even someone good. I mean, just in case anyone ever told you different. I really like that line.
That was a good line.
Yeah.
That is definitely one of the lines that made this episode for me. I tell you.
Yeah, for sure.
Chip.
Just riding around on my jet ski. R.I.P. It's the last words Mobius says. He's
Oh my god.
yeah. Just riding around on my jet ski.
But is he
His
dead,
last
or did he get sent to this fucking little variant verse?
Mm.
I don't think any of those people that get pruned are actually dead. I think they get sent to a different place.
Just shoved off into like
End time
some
or
other
something like that.
place.
The astral sea.
Yeah. Like multiverse Z, Like A through F are tight, and then G through N are like okay, and then O through Z are like straight peril, you know. So they just send all these ones to Z.
I don't know. That was weird. Like, I have no idea how like the pruning didn't, like, I don't know.
That
The deletion did not delete.
to answer Jesse's question, did Loki get sent to a timeline where he wins 2012? I don't know. I mean, that is Avengers Tower in the background, but there's so many other Lokis there that it might just be maybe end time. It could be the world where Tony didn't get the nuke through the portal. You know, it could be so many different things. But
Could be Universe Z.
it could
where
be
everything's
Universe Z.
just messed up, man.
So my line of this episode is actually kind of long. It was two variants of the same being, especially you, forming this kind of sick, twisted romantic relationship. That's pure chaos. That could break reality. It's breaking my reality right now. I hope we get Owen Wilson saying wow just once during this episode or during this series. If not, this episode is now become the closest we'll get to it.
And I think he was speaking for everyone. If our conversation about that whole thing earlier said anything, like it is definitely breaking our realities to think about this Loki, and is it okay for them? Is it a forbidden love? I feel like this is the thing that fan fiction is like made for, you know? Like, were these guys reading some fanfic?
This is like the new my stepsister is stuck in the dryer scene. It's
don't yuck their yum.
Oh my god. Okay,
yeah.
well, I'm gonna yuck all their yum and just go straight to yeah.
All right,
that was
Chip,
sudden but inevitable.
Let's
Bazinga.
Let's have Chip lead into this with his shot this time.
Dude, the shot of the show for me was when our boy Loki catches a disintegration right through the heart.
Oh geez, I'm sorry, I messed that up. There we go.
Just he's just about to lay a kiss right on her, and then ganked right through the heart.
Steady hot breathes right on her.
Yeah.
And that was minute marker 41:58, where Loki is getting disappeared.
He's getting eeked. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the lesson. Like, always double tap. Knocked her out. Could have tapped her with the stick. Been done with it, but no.
We'll go to my shot next, which is
it was definitely a surprising shot, like, or a surprising thing to see. You know?
Yeah. Definitely.
Even though it was kind of like, I mean, I kind of saw it coming, but like still, I was like, that's weird. Are they really gonna do that right now? Like, how are they gonna? This is weird. But
I didn't see it coming this early in the series.
We were right in our predictions at first that they were gonna get pruned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like episode 1, I think we were like, yeah, they're all gonna get pruned at the end of this. So
true.
Yeah.
So we'll go straight into my shot. My shot is the end credit as we get the 4 different possibly variants of Loki: old Loki, boastful Loki, kid Loki, and croc Loki. I just want to point out that, like, immediately the 2 that stole my attention during this was old Loki's like super comic book accurate old school outfit, and then the fact that boastful Loki is possibly holding a different copy of Mjolnir.
Yeah,
I think
that
Chip
makes
needs
sense
some
right
free
there.
time, Josh.
Oh, hold
As
up.
he's
Hang on. I am so sorry. Here we go. Chip's showing off the old uniform or like
he's
old
so
comic.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That smile.
That's a sweet figure. I like it.
There you go.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's the kind of thing you only see on the live stream of MCM is Chip's awesome figure collection. You know, it's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I was really excited for Kid Loki. Like seeing him was pretty dope. I'm iffy.
Is
Like I'm
so
like I don't know if I necessarily like. I'll have to hear him talk and see him act, but from a still, I don't know if I'm sold on the actor that they got for Kid Loki. But I'm excited to see Kid Loki.
I just want to point this out real quick that this continues the trend of all 3 Disney Plus series so far of what we like to call New Avengers Watch, Young
Oh, my
Avengers Watch,
goodness.
Yeah,
as we
Is
get
that-
another Young
Kid
Avenger.
Loki.
That's very true. Where is that? Oh man, did I lose it already? Dang it. I
Oh man,
did.
but yeah, super excited for some Kid Loki. He better survive and make it into some Young Avengers nonsense. That would be so slick.
Heck yeah.
So
So for my shot, I chose, and it's at minute marker 37:33, and it's the like awesome shot of the timekeepers, the androids, I guess you'll say. But this whole like it's panning out from when they're walking in through the elevator, and you see them looking up in awe, and you see the 2 guards right there, and I don't know, this shot was super intimidating. You know, like I feel like when Ravonna says, you know, going up and talking to the timekeepers is extremely, I don't even remember what she said, but nerve-wracking, basically. Like, yeah, going up alone to these 3 monstrosities, not like, you know, intending to kill them, but listening to them. I mean, I would definitely be intimidated for sure. So
yeah.
I liked that, and I mean, seeing them too in the episode, you're like, oh shit, here we go. It's like in episode 8 when Ray goes to Snoke, and you're like, oh shit, here we go, and then he just gets cut in half, and that you know that was that. So same thing with this, like they just cut the head off, and they get turned down or powered down, and it's all over.
Little bit of a letdown by the death, but at the same time, you just wrecked any thoughts I had of who was actually doing this.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So,
well, and that brings me to with your shot, a lot of people were predicting that Richard Grant was going to be the guy pulling the strings, that he was going to be old Loki pulling the strings of the timekeepers, and, you know, for whatever reason. And now you see that he's actually a variant that's been pruned and sent to the variant verse. I mean, he's still, Richard Grant's playing old Loki, but it's not the old Loki that everyone was kind of predicting. So I like that this episode really answered a lot of questions.
Oh my gosh, it did. It
also put a lot more out there. Like now you're like, oh shit, all my other questions are answered, but I have like 1,000 more questions.
I also want to point out, we still have not gotten President Loki, which makes me think that we're getting President Loki next episode.
Yeah.
But if I remember right, that kind of spoils it too, because I believe in the commercial, Mobius was with Loki when they met President Loki. Maybe I'm thinking wrong, but maybe it was just weirdly cut, but I thought.
Well, but again, it's not like they're getting killed. They're
Yeah.
getting pruned and sent to this other world. So Loki is going to wake up in this next episode and be like, oh my God, where's Mobius? They're going to have to go save him from President Loki. It's going to be another variant. Calling it.
Is this a secret timeline in which a secret war is taking effect? Maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe the TVA is recruiting an army, and that's why they are pruning people, sending them
Ooh,
off to this world.
that's a good point.
I thought there was actually from a trailer back in like May that dropped. There is a scene of Mobius driving a Jeep through what appears to be a desert. And we certainly haven't seen that yet. So
There you go.
he may not be as rip as we think.
True.
He didn't have a mustache in that scene though. So
So he's going to
It might
go
have been
pick him from a jet ski and
yeah, maybe. Might have been a flashback, might have been just
or he's
shaved.
getting tortured and they shaved his mustache off.
That is pure torture.
See, that's what I'm
That's
saying,
like
man.
cutting a dwarf's beard off.
Yep. That's what I'm saying.
So, such a glorious episode needs a good wow.
Oh, wow.
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 Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
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 Wow. This is a nice boat.
Every time.
This is
Wow.
a nice boat.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think of a good way to do this. We've done variants. We've done. What would you guys say we should rate this out of this time?
Out of timekeepers. 1 out of 10 timekeepers. Or 1 out of 10 androids.
Ooh, that's good. I was running along the theme of maybe 1 out of 10 Nexus boners.
Yes. I like that too. Yeah, we could tone it down a bit and do 1 out of 10 swings.
All right. So
Also, I don't know if you noticed my green screen, but also swing.
the mic is like perfectly positioned right there.
Oh man. Yeah.
Okay. Well, how about this? I've let you guys go first on so many, and I made the mistake of misrating the last episode. I will go first this time, and I will rate this 9 out of 10 Nexus boners, as it was a very well done episode. The plot progressed nicely. There was plenty of surprises, plenty of things that I couldn't even understand when I first saw it. I was completely floored. To me, this hit all the marks of what would have been possibly a great season finale, as we've talked about before. But at the same time, knowing that there's so much more coming, it did a good job of leaving me wanting more. I don't think that it was a 10. I do think there was some slow points and some things I was disappointed with, but 9 out of 10. Let's go, Josh.
God, I couldn't agree more. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 Nexus boners as well. Again, it answered a ton of questions. I'm surprised you didn't give it a 9.5 or 10, considering last week you were complaining about it didn't answer any questions, and now this week it answered every single question you had, but then also left you wanting more. So,
Mhm.
you know, and for that reason alone, I'm going to boost my rating up to a 9.5 Nexus Boners
Okay.
just to spite you. So,
So a
yeah.
9.5 chub. Gotcha.
Yes.
All right, Chip. Let's hear what you got.
I don't know, man. I really want to rate it real low because they killed off my boy Mobius.
They didn't kill him. They didn't kill him.
I don't know.
Come
We
on.
didn't see him in the post-credit scene.
Just in a
Probably.
jeep in a
I'm
desert.
gonna give it a 9. Like, it was a really solid episode. It was really good. Dialogue is really on point. The showrunners are doing a fantastic job.
Killing it.
I really don't
Yes.
have any of my typical complaints and gripes. Like, they're doing
Nice.
a really good job. So I mean, yeah, I give it a 9.5 as well. Not quite the same excitement level that I had last week. Like, last week's episode really hit a lot of buttons for me. I really liked last week's episode, as I gushed on and on about, but this one was very good and very solid as well. I just didn't quite hit me the same way.
All right. Well, with that being said, do you guys have any final thoughts on the episode as a whole?
Young Avengers. So we have seen America Chavez has been cast and has been seen on set for stuff. And America Chavez, the character, she can literally kick holes to other dimensions and other realities and shit. So I feel like it was Hawkeye that she was seen on the set of.
Okay.
It was either Hawkeye or the Marvels, but America Chavez is coming in. She was one of the Young Avengers, and she can literally kick down walls of reality and hop between different dimensions. And that's actually a huge thing in one of the runs of Young Avengers. They're literally on the run from this multi-dimensional monster, and they're reality hopping. So, oh man, I'm really excited to see Kid Loki. I'm really hoping they integrate some Young Avenger, America Chavez, portal time, reality hopping. The Multiverse of Madness has so many implications. I'm just so stoked to see what directions they go with it.
Did you guys happen to check out the new updated post-credit scene of WandaVision?
No.
I was more
I
more hype than substance in my mind. I saw what people are talking about, but I didn't think it was that intriguing.
It's just leading into Doctor Strange is all it is. It's just showing you that Doctor Strange is going to meet her there.
Potentially, probably that's what they're supposed to be hinting at. But I saw a screenshot of it. They paused it and they zoomed in. And when they zoomed in and had it paused, it bloody well looked like Spectrum. It looked like Spectrum's comic suit, the black and white one. So I was kind of
okay.
But I mean, I feel like it was supposed to be Doctor Strange. But the screenshot I saw looked very black and white, like her comic costume, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, but other than that, I didn't have much else. I did forget to say at the beginning of the synopsis, this episode was directed by Kate Herron and written by Eric Martin and Michael Waldron, starring Tom Hiddleston, Sophia DiMartino, and Owen Wilson. So, my bad. I forgot to give the credits earlier. But that's all I had.
My final thought on the episode is the variant Lokis at the end, the vastly different ones, made me immediately super hyped for the new Spider-Man and the potential of actually getting Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Oh, or maybe we'll get Ben Reilly or someone else,
I mean, it's gonna
Maybe-
happen.
Oh yeah, they're
That's-
definitely doing something now.
They're bringing Ben Riley back in the comics. They're gonna.
I wonder
Bring
if
Ben
this
Reilly
was
back
the
as a hero.
episode. I wonder if this is the episode they were waiting for to drop the Spider-Man trailer.
Well, it hasn't dropped yet.
Well, no, it's
we
only
got
been a
Clifford
day.
the big red dog, not Spider-Man.
Really? That sucks.
Yeah, but we did get a new Shang-Chi trailer. Which, Josh, are we showing that at the end of this episode?
Yeah, for sure. Before we end the episode, I did want to do a couple little marvelous shout outs.
Exactly.
One of them being for the band Messiah Vor that came on the show last week. I just dropped that episode today, early this morning. So I'm talking to local Denver metal band Messiah Vor. And man, it was a lot of fun. I laughed listening back to it a lot. And they have a show coming up actually this upcoming Friday, which was it's July 2nd. So by the time this episode actually gets on the Spotify's, the show will be over and done with. But if you're watching live right now or rewatching the live video before July 2nd, go check these guys out at the Oriental here in Denver because they're doing a video premiere and it's kind of like, you know, COVID's over show. Like, I don't know. It'll be a lot of fun. But then other than that, I wanted to shout out pretty much everyone on Twitter. I can't even keep up anymore. There's just too many people. I have messages from people, and I promise I'm reaching out to you guys this next weekend. I've been fairly busy, but I am starting to book new episodes or new guests for TMA. I'm going to be starting that show back up. This Messiah Vor episode was my last episode of the summer, so I'll be starting TMA back up in about late August after PodCon. So I am starting to book guests for that, and if anyone wants to join me, or if anyone knows any podcasters or bands, hit me up. But yeah, do you guys have any shout outs?
Chip.
No specific shout outs this week. Throw like a congratulations out to a couple of our past shout outs. I saw on Instagram yesterday that both the Geek Strong and Armored Heart Cosplay were going to the Black Widow premiere. So means they're doing something right. So congrats to them. It'd be so dope to go to a premiere early. Yeah, I didn't really have any specific shout outs. I did want to talk about this bad boy before we signed out, though. Did you see this? Did you hear about this? I just saw it posted today.
I didn't think it was real. It's real?
I believe so.
The good, the Bart, and the Loki? Okay, all right.
Tom Hiddleston's actually doing the voice of Loki.
Really?
Yeah, from what I hear. I mean,
It's a variant.
My goodness.
The Simpsons is on Disney Plus. Like the precedent is there. They own it.
Wow.
Disney owns Fox. It's all their
I mean, I'm
Disney
down.
own.
I thought it was so funny that they made drunk Barney Tony Stark. Like 40 years down the line, this dude could not get past the demon in a bottle storyline. Like,
oof. Yeah.
But I feel like that should be pretty funny. I don't really watch tons of The Simpsons, but I'll watch that.
Yeah.
Not since I was a kid.
You know, honestly, it's not terrible. I watched this like newest season fairly recently on Hulu. It's pretty good, pretty watchable. I laughed a few times.
Word. Did you have any shout outs, Roy?
You know what? I'm gonna give a shout out to the Grouch Couch. It is a group of streamers on Twitch. They are an all-star cast of punk rockers, rejects, and nerds that like to do everything from video games to tabletop role-playing games. They all get in costume to play. It is pretty crazy. I believe they're actually streaming tonight. But yeah, go take a look at them. They're really fun. They do a lot of interaction with their audience as well. So yeah, that's about all I got.
Cool. So yeah, to finish, to answer your question, we are gonna play the Shang-Chi, the second Shang-Chi trailer. I feel like this trailer reveals so much more about what this movie is about and got me so much more excited for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the hype is real.
Yeah.
Um,
But Roy, you being the host, you take us out of this thing.
Yeah, definitely. I do want to say real quick about this. They have got some extremely comic book accurate characters in this trailer that were not comic accurate before, and it blew my mind. So I hope you all enjoy. Thank you for stopping by. As always, we're Marvel Canon Madness. We love each and every one of you. I'm Roy.
I'm Chip.
And I'm Josh. Enjoy this Shang-Chi trailer. Follow us on Twitter at MCM_pod and email us any questions or things you'd like us to review. twistmyarmpodcast@gmail.com. Have a good one, guys.
Later, you marvelous monsters.
Throughout my life, the 10 rings gave our family power. If you want them to be yours one day, you have to show me you are strong enough to carry them.
You are a product of all who came before you. The legacy of your family. You are your mother. And whether you like it or not, you are also your father.
I told my men they wouldn't be able to kill you if they tried. Glad I was right. He's just a criminal who murders people. Be careful how you speak to me, boy.
I
thought I could change my name. Start a new life. But I could never escape his shadow. My son, you can't run from your past. Is this what you wanted?
You got this.
Thank you.
Quick jab, left foot, right hook.